Salute to the gang. Battle rap is life. Battle rap is life. What's going on? What's going on, people? Snake Eyes versus Swamp. Swamp versus Snake Eyes. Before y'all get in my comments, y'all make sure y'all let me know why y'all got the winning each round. The reason. We judge battles over here from 6 to 9. Off of pace, delivery, performance, bars, of course, theatrics, freestyle ability, rebuttals. The Snake had, well, it seemed like he had a rebuttal. He turned into a rebuttal. You know, it's like a pre-rebuttal. He probably already had the bar since Swamp said the Adam and Eve bar. He said the Adam and Eve bar, which is still considered a rebuttal. It's just a pre-rebuttal. So if it hit for you, you know, give him points for it. You know, I know I did. I gave him an extra little 0.1 for the rebuttal. Round one on Snake. He seemed a little, he was aggressive in his performance. He seemed a little like nervous up there. He wasn't really like poised in his performance, you know. But a lot of times when you're aggressive, you lack poise in your performance. So you got to find a sweet medium between poise and your aggression, you know. And I think Swamp actually did a good job about that. I think Swamp did a really, really good job mixing his aggression with his poise. You know, if Snake wanted to get pointers from his performance off of Swamp, you know, I would advise that. But back to Snake. Snake had good aggression in his performance. The crowd control was like, not too good in terms of performance-wise. Had strong aura, believability, for sure. That's part of his performance. He did good. He did good with that too. My fault, y'all. Where was I at? Oh yeah, Snake Eyes. And his performance, he did good in terms of aura, believability, and aggression. But he was definitely lacking like crowd control and poise in his first round. I'm just talking about his first round right now. Because the second round, he got a little bit more comfortable. Third round, he was even more comfortable than the second round. Poise-wise, he felt the mixture. You know, a lot of times when they see the other person's performance, they kind of can match off of that. You know, they get a little bit more calm or comfortable on the stage when they see somebody else comfortable. And it seems like that's what happened in this battle. But Snake Eyes' performance was pretty good. Pace-wise, it seemed like he was rushing. And his pace, his transitioning, it might have been because of the crowd. Sometimes it's because of the crowd not reacting when they think they're supposed to react. The rapper thinks that the crowd's supposed to react. So it messes up their pace sometimes, but you can't, as the artist, they can't let the crowd dictate their pace or throw them off. They can actually use the crowd to help their pace sometimes. You know, when the crowd reacting as they should, it actually helps their pace. You know, it helps them to slow down. You know, help them slow down as a reaction. Take those breath control, smooth transitions and things of that nature. So his pace was definitely off. Definitely off. He was rushing. His transitions wasn't that smooth. Delivery, he was pretty good in terms of timing in his delivery. Again, pace and delivery is so close to each other. It seems like it's kind of like intertwined. But in delivery, we got like loud and clear. He was loud, yes, but he wasn't clear on some of the bars. You know, Swamp delivery wasn't all the way on point neither, but the timing, Snake Eyes' timing was good. flow pockets. We definitely judge our flow pockets too. Snake had a nice original flow. He was dipping in and out of pockets. He wasn't doing nothing too difficult, but he was definitely dipping out of pockets, so his flow was on point too. I ended up giving Snake 7.7, 8-ish in his first round. Swamp's first round, he was very poised. His performance, animation, because that's the thing about performance too, the animation part. Um, Snake Eyez wasn't that animated. He was kind of standing in the same place in the first round. I told you he got more comfortable animation-wise in the second and the third, the most in the third. He started facing the crowd. He started making it an actual performance animation-wise. But Swamp had that out the gate. He was animated. He was aggressive. He was poised. He had crowd control. So his performance was just way better than Snake Eyez. And going back to Snake Eyez rounds, bar for bar, like bar-wise, Snake Eyez had pretty decent bars. He was throwing a lot of jabs, nothing too crazy. Had a couple bars in there that I consider haymakers, probably one or two, maybe one or two haymakers in that first round. But a lot of jabs, not too intricate in his bars. A couple of 5.2s, like references that I heard before, but Swamp also had that. So his bars wasn't too crazy, but it was there. But like I said, I gave him a 7.7, 8-ish in his first round. Swamp, back to Swamp. Bar for bar, he was really witty in his bars. He had a couple of 5.2s, but his bars was a little bit more heavy. Punchline wise, he had a little bit more substance from the setup enter into the bar. More direct, a little bit more direct. More direct than Snake Eyez, but just judging him off just the scale Swamp, he was very direct. Had witty punchlines in his bars. His flow pockets, he dipped, but not too crazy, just a little slight dips, saying things in a different type of cadence. So his pockets wasn't too crazy, but he was definitely still rapping. Swamp. His pace was on point, delivery was on point. It's just some of the words I didn't hear clearly, so it's delivery, but it might be the accent too. So it was loud, good timing, but not super clear some of the words. Pardon me. I end up giving Swamp a smooth 8. A 7.98 is close to smooth 8. Really a smooth 8, because the performance kind of like took it over the notch. Swamp's performance. And I like to say that it's all about like performance and bars hold the most weight in the overall performance, the overall scale. So the bars hold the most weight. I like to think the bars hold the most weight, but judging off how the crowd or during the years, they like somebody to perform and to bars. So the performance and the bars is definitely top 2. So I think because Swamp edged them, or it was a clear difference between bars too. How they setting their bars up, how direct they being with their bars, was a difference. It's just Snake is rapping at a faster pace, so he's getting like the bar count. He's getting just as many, if not more, bars than Swamp out. But Swamp getting to the punch faster and being more witty, intricate in his bars. So it might take a little bit more time to get to the actual bar. So that's probably why somebody like Snake Eyez think, since he kept up with bars, or even more bars, that he won that. But it's not about just bar count. So Swamp definitely, like when it came to bars, it was Swamp. When it came to performance, Swamp. And it was clear too, like a clear difference. So that's why a lot of people like Swamp, even though I think it's clear too, I think the first round was clear too, but Snake Eyez didn't do bad though. Snake Eyez did good, dope. His round was dope. It just wasn't compared to what Swamp was doing. And some of the things he might not understand, but that was the first round. Second round, I think Snake Eyes round was a little bit better. He had a little bit more bar wise and performance wise. Like I said, he seemed like he was more comfortable in this second round because he's moving around a little bit more, so it made him look a little bit more comfortable. I think he could have been even more comfortable than he was, but it was better than the first round. So his round went up bar wise and performance wise. Same thing, delivery was the same, around the same. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to nitpick that much. So his delivery was around the same. His pace slowed down a little bit. So his second round, I ended up giving him a 7.89-ish in the second round. Swamp's second round, I gave him again a smooth 8. Same thing. Basically the same thing he had in his first round. The overall way he doing his round was the same as his first round, even though somebody would nitpick bars like preference. I like this bar better than this bar. I'm not really doing that. Like, I'm giving them credit for how they setting up the bar more than if I like the bar or not. So I think Swamp's first round, but the second round might have been a tad bit better because he was controlling the crowd and he had some theatrics. So you can give him a little bit of extra points. So it's like 8.1-ish. So just a tiny bit better than his first round, but still fire. So that's 2-0. That was 2 out the gate. And then Snake Eyes stopped early in his third. He stopped early in his third, but that was his most comfortable round. Like, performance-wise, he seemed like he had the most poise and comfortability. He was playing off the crowd a little bit better, but it was just stopped it short. And that was only in the beginning of his third round. Towards the end, when he started, I could tell he was about to stop because he was starting to get a little shaky. And it seemed like nervousness. I don't know. It's just, I don't know if it's his preparation or he nervous up there. He's just rapping different from the first half of his third to towards the end of his third. Just peep his body language, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I mean by that. But I ended up giving him a 7.5, 6-ish. Still was a dope round. I think it would have been maybe his best round in terms of performance, and his bars was seeming like they was pretty good towards the beginning. So if he kept the same pen that he was doing in the beginning of this third, I think he would have it would have ended up being if he would have rapped long enough. You know what I'm saying? And then Swamp, he ended it with the same thing, same difference. Smooth 8, 8.1-ish. Fire, another fire. I think it was a classic performance. I seen Snake Eyes trying to like underwhelm. Like, in the same breath, he said they bring their A game, but then he trying to act like Swamp wasn't as good as him. But he understands that Swamp brings his A game. He know this wasn't the best him that he ever seen. So I'm confused why he don't want to admit that Swamp won. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not that confused. I understand the game. They don't really like accepting their losses. But I think it's pretty obvious. I think he knows that he lost, but he don't want to admit it. Maybe because the raccoon thing. Should he eat the raccoon or not? Of course he should. And I think it's up to the platform that he did it on. You know what I'm saying? Have the platform. I think it was on Champion they made that bet, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it was on Champion. So I think Jay Black should be involved. However Jay Black feel like who won, and throw a poll up there for that bet right there. But of course, the game, if you want to see the most honest breakdowns or the most inquisitive breakdowns, it's probably going to be over here. So if you look in our comments and y'all see if you see any Snake Eyes, cause Snakes did good. He did good. I think he did real good in his first and second especially. But salute to the game. Better Rap His Life. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Just try to make sure if y'all in the comments, give me some type of explanation who y'all feel won. Holla at me. Y'all stay on your A game, man. Holla at me.